Okay, so hi, my name is Shruti. Um, I go to Carnegie Mellon University and I'm majoring in electrical and computer engineering. And I'm a rising sophomore right now, and I graduated from TISB in 2019. Wake up in the morning pretty much as late as possible because everyone wakes up as late as possible. Get to class. Most of the time, you just have kind of straight classes, or if you try to schedule straight classes. So go to class, a few small breaks, go eat lunch, do a little bit of homework. I guess it kind of depends between people, but like for me, I try to get all my work done like continuously as much as possible so I can chill in the nights as much as I can. Probably till like 5, 6 p.m. You're kind of working, homework, everything. Then like you go to your club meetings or whatever you have to do. Again, come back, back to work. And then typically like most people just go to dinner with friends. So that's kind of like your hangout time. Um, Hang out for dinner, come back, work again, stay up till like 2 a.m. and then go back to sleep.
Yep, that sounds like CMU.
Okay, I think the best part, and I think I've mentioned this before, but the best part is just like the sense of community that we have. Just how like everyone's really supportive, even though like obviously the competition is really high. I think everyone just knows that we'll all make it there eventually anyway. So we're all like there for each other, which is really really great because there's so many resources, so much help, and just everyone's out there to help you. So I think that's definitely one of the best things about CMU. The worst, does like cost count? Because they ripped
Yeah,
you off.
that can count. That can definitely count. That's like something that's super important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty messed. I mean, like they definitely do take a lot of money from you.
Yes.
Um,
Most colleges do.
that's true. Yeah, no, it's just unfair because like they've increased our fees, or they had increased our fees for this year, and they didn't drop it back, even though we're like,
Did you guys
um,
get like a refund for your house, or you didn't leave early? I guess. Did you get any
I
refund?
did, I did leave early. They did give us a refund, but I don't even know if that refund like justifies how long we left for.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean they're definitely expensive. But I think that's pretty much any private school, to be fair,
Yeah.
or any college in just general. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think one of the worst things about CMU, it's again being superficial, not like education wise, but I guess just food. Food's not great. I mean, it's not bad. It definitely like works, but it's not like great, you know?
Amazing. Yeah.
It just does its job. Okay, well, that's kind of funny because I remember when I got into like first was going into college, I was like expecting like a full nerd school full everyone just like sticks to themselves, in their books and doing their own thing. But like getting there, honestly, like pleasantly surprised. People are very, very social. People like you can just talk to a random person on the street and they're like gonna have like a full-fledged conversation with you. So it's really easy to make friends, really easy to make new friends, and just randomly talk to people. So I think there's definitely very social, very, very approachable people. Um, in terms of Greek life, there is definitely Greek life, but I think it's not as big as it is in a lot of colleges. I know like a lot of colleges, it's like Greek life. You have to be a part of it to be like considered cool or whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely not a big deal. It exists, and it's mostly just like to get into parties, but also like if you know people, you can get into parties.
Yeah.
Also, side note, frat parties aren't great. So that
My neighbor also goes to CMU, and I think that's a really common misconception of CMU, which I think you don't realize
yeah.
until, like, she didn't realize it until she got there. And then she was telling me CMU's like so many parties, so many people are so social. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, you wouldn't expect it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but it's interesting.
I think definitely. I think one of the biggest thing which I was concerned about, but I'm happy that it worked out, is that like we don't have grad students teaching us, other than like
Oh,
TA. All our classes are like professor led. So I think that's definitely a very very helpful thing because obviously everyone wants professors teaching them.
yeah.
Another thing is in terms of like support for classes, there's definitely like so much opportunity, so many different avenues they've created for us to like learn to be supported. We have a lot of like academic development centers where they teach you like one-on-one. You have like peer tutoring, you have just like academic coaching, which is basically go in and say, hey guys, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do with life, and then they kind of like work you through it. They have a lot of those kind of facilities. Other than that, also like undergraduate research is super easy to get right now. So and like all professors are really for it, and you got to work sure with grad students, but like there's a lot of learning you're getting out of that. So it's definitely very catered towards undergraduate students, and it's not like super grad focused. I just think you need to like look for the right places to get the right opportunities. I think literally in terms of housing, it's just the fact that staying in dorms, but I feel like it's just general staying in dorms culture, that like you're close to people and you get to know people. um what's the worst part? I guess this depends in terms of, I guess, luck, but
Mhm.
like some of our dorms are just like really really tiny. Some of them are really nice and big, but some of them are just like insanely tiny, like they shove two people into a room that shouldn't even be for one person. So
Yeah.
um like in that sense, I guess that's probably the worst. I've been lucky that I didn't get one of those rooms, but if you did, I can assume that's kind
Mhm.
of bad.
Yeah. And then do you get housing for 1 year, for 2 years? What?
So we're guaranteed housing for all four if we want it,
Okay.
but we have to do 1 year for sure.
Okay. Okay. You have to. You don't have a choice of
Yeah.
paying for it. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of just the people, it's definitely diverse. And when I say diverse, I mean overall it's diverse, but I feel like within which like certain majors is not so much. Like for example, if you go into like the very tech field, it's filled with Indians and Asians, like
Okay.
absolutely filled with us. And then when you go into stuff like arts or like more drama, more music, it's a lot more like non-Asian, I guess to say. But like stuff like sciences are pretty balanced. So I guess overall SKMU is pretty balanced out, but within specific majors not so much.
Mhm.
um Definitely like male to female ratio is definitely very balanced though, so that's a good thing. Other than that, in terms of interest, yeah, for sure, I think CMU is very very diverse in terms of interests, and you can just see that purely based off like the clubs that are there, because every club has like a good number of members, and we have stuff all the way from like dance and music, which is kind of mainstream, to like tech, where again like major specific stuff, and then you have stuff like juggling or like
Yeah.
you know like we have something called Buggy, which is basically like race car kind of stuff,
Yeah.
um which is like so I think it's super diverse, and there's a lot of people interested in a lot of really random things. So there's definitely like at least another person out there who's got the same interests as you, so you always have like someone you can rely on. I definitely don't think it was a moment. I don't think I had like okay, you know what, I love this place kind of moment. I think, well, firstly going in, I was all like to make it my home, because I was like, I guess going into college, I was like, you know what, I'm so happy I'm getting out of home kind of a feel. So I guess I just really wanted to make it work, and then I went there, I met, I think, amazing people. I got into classes that I really enjoyed, and I got like super busy, and so I think I just fell into like the college life really
Mhm.
quickly, and there's just been no looking back since then. So it just kind of, I guess, grew on me, but I never really had an issue with it. So I don't know how I want to phrase that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely very safe. Firstly, our campus isn't that big that we
Okay.
need to walk too far. It's probably like 15, 20 minutes end to end at worst. So that's, I think that because everything's just in one area. Firstly, it's just a very collegey area, though it's like pretty downtown Pittsburgh. But other than that, like I know a lot of people stay like late, libraries till 2 a.m. and stuff, and obviously sometimes you're scared to walk back, so you can always like call the police, they walk you back, they escort you back. We have like, through the nights we have like this separate like shuttle buses that are run by CMU. If you have to go off campus, like if you live off campus, they take you there. um and there's like always a helpline open. There are like these I guess these buttons are on campus that you can press if you feel unsafe, that police will come and help you out. So there's definitely that. Also every like building has like a key card scan. You have to enter only with your card, so you can't have random people just show up. So I think, yeah, so it's definitely there are a lot of provisions to be safe, and I've never felt unsafe. But that said, I mean, I'm sure there have been some cases around of like, people stealing things and stuff. So I guess it's just unlucky, but it's most for the most part, it's very safe. Uh, sure. Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of that process right now. So, it depends. So most minors, especially the way it works, is you just kind of just finish the requirements, and then you kind of reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, I finished the requirements, I want this. Or you just reach out before saying I want it. Like, it really depends, but like pretty much it's just saying I want it and you just do it. For majors, again, most majors, again, you just have to fulfill the requirements and it's pretty much done. And I think it's pretty common in CMU because a lot of subjects really overlap, like CS and math like really overlap. So you just have like a few extra classes to do to get the major, or like other things like that. But there are some majors or minors that are like very selective because they're super popular, and so you actually do have to apply. So like I'm looking for one major / minor, not really sure which one right now, but it's in human computer interaction. And so it's essentially basically like devices, but like you interact with people. So it's like a design come tech kind of a major. And like for that, because super competitive, you actually have to make write an application, and then which like probably like a 50-60% acceptance rate. So I think it really depends, but most of them it's pretty straightforward to just get in. But basically, I think generally like the CS additional majors are pretty selective, just because we have a lot of CS kids, a lot of very tech kids who have done a lot of stuff in that field, and all of them want to do the majors. So they just can't have everyone doing it. Massive. I mean, it's huge. It's like mini brown town out there. Yeah, so we have like a undergraduate community, we have a graduate community, all of that, and they definitely have like regular events. You know, Diwali we have events, Holi we have events, just like randomly in the middle of the year they'll just have like Bollywood nights and stuff. Other than that, we have like 4 Indian dance teams, now apparently going to be 5. We have 2 Indian music teams. Yes, we've got like a lot, and I think we have like 2 other Indian like orgs, you know, like just community teams. So like it's definitely like huge. There are also a lot of Indians from India, from the US. Like half of New Jersey is at CMU, so we're kind of like completely Indian. So yeah, I think in that sense it's very easy to fit in. But like also sometimes, like I remember when I went initially, I was like, you know what, most of my friends are Indian, and I really came here not to just stick to them. Yeah, right. So I guess sometimes it's hard to break out of that.
Right.
So like that's definitely, I guess, if people are coming in and they're like, you know, they want to like break out of that, I think like it's a good thing to break out of it soon, like initially itself, and not like get stuck in it and then try to move out.